You either love them or you hate them, sometimes both. It's the rainbow shark. Since you're here to take the plunge, let's figure out what the best tank mates are for these fish. Tiger barbs are another fish that you can love or hate, so why not put them together? Amazingly enough, these two fish species get along great. Who knew that villains and dark heroes get along so well? They love to swim around and show off their vibrant colors, which really brings the tank to life. Just make sure there's enough space for them to move freely. These little guys are super quick and can easily dodge any trouble from rainbow sharks, so they tend to get along just fine. Diet-wise, they're omnivores, so they can appreciate a mix of live foods like worms alongside their regular flakes and pellets. Just a heads up though, if you're adding more fish, steer clear of gentle types, as those curious little barbs can get a bit nippy with their fins. If you're thinking about setting up an aquarium with a rainbow shark, you'll be happy to know that gouramis can get along quite well with rainbow sharks, but it's all about picking the right ones. Fish like blue gourami, pearl gourami, or moonlight gourami can really help keep the peace, as long as you pay attention to their size and personality. Giving your fish plenty of space to swim around and avoid each other is super important. Think of it like giving them their own little territories in your tank. Plus, don't forget to deck out the tank with some cool decorations and plants to make it a cozy space for everyone. A well set up aquarium can really turn into an awesome underwater world. Congo tetras are such cool fish. They're super social and peaceful too, which makes them perfect pals for your rainbow sharks. It's awesome to see them swimming together, especially since Congo tetras thrive in schools of 6 or more. Though with a rainbow, you're gonna want to add a little more than that. This way, they avoid any territory drama that might pop up with the sharks. You'll usually find them hanging out in the middle to upper parts of the tank, adding a nice splash of color and movement. Plus, they're easy eaters. Being omnivores means you can feed them live, dried, or frozen food without any fuss. It definitely simplifies meal times for you as an aquarist, leaving you more time to enjoy your aquarium. Rainbow fish are a vibrant splash of color in any aquarium, and they really know how to put on a show with their lively swimming. These little guys thrive up top, which makes them the perfect tank mates for rainbow sharks that prefer to hang out closer to the bottom. One of the coolest ones out there is the dwarf neon rainbow fish, a lively little fish from Indonesia that's both small and packed with personality. They love to socialize, so keeping at least 10 of them together is key to keeping them happy. Plus, they're not picky eaters either, and their diet ranges from algae and worms to veggies like spinach and peas, making them a fun and easy addition to your aquatic setup. Bristlenose plecos are such chill little guys. They have this adorable bristly little nose that makes them super easy to spot, and they make great tank mates because they're usually pretty mellow even when they grow up. These guys love to munch on algae, and they spend most of their time cruising around the bottom of the tank, keeping things nice and tidy. If you're thinking of adding them to your aquarium, just make sure it's a spacious one. Pairing them with rainbow sharks can lead to some drama if there aren't enough hiding spots for everyone. Keeping them in a larger tank will help avoid any squabbles over territory, and you'll have a peaceful underwater world. If you're looking to create a colorful and vibrant aquarium, adding Danio fish alongside your rainbow shark is a solid choice. These dither fish not only add a splash of color, but they're also pretty easygoing. They happily cruise around the middle levels of your tank. With a lifespan of about 5 years, they've become a fun part of your aquatic family. Their diet's pretty easy to work with too. Think tasty treats like bloodworms and Daphnia, but they'll also chomp on some greens like lettuce and zucchini. Plus, thanks to their zippy nature, they can dodge any minor spats from the more territorial rainbow sharks, making these little guys the perfect tank mates. If you're considering other specific types, giant Danios are fantastic picks that'll thrive alongside your shark buddy. If you're looking to add a splash of color and personality to your aquarium, a large peaceful cichlid like a severum could just be the ticket. These vibrant fish not only have stunning colors that really pop against the darker shades of rainbow sharks, but they also get along pretty well together. Since they share similar water conditions and they're not overly aggressive, it's rare for them to have any kind of territorial squabble. Just make sure your tank is spacious enough and hides plenty of cozy spots for both of them to chill in. And before you know it, you're going to create a thriving underwater paradise that's a feast for the eyes. So, you're thinking about adding tank mates for your rainbow shark. Well, EDSA barbs are a great option. These schooling fish get along just fine with your shark buddies, as long as you keep them in groups and give everyone enough space to swim around. They're pretty chill with rainbow sharks, which is perfect for fostering a peaceful environment. Just keep in mind that they might not do so well with fish that have long fins or swim slowly, as they could end up being on the receiving end of some nipping. To really keep the vibes good, grabbing at least 6 of these little swimmers is the way to go. It's going to help them stay social and thrive in your aquarium. Black skirt tetras are such a cool addition to any fish tank. These peaceful little guys, native to South America, sport a striking black body with vibrant red or orange stripes that really catch the eye. When setting up their home, it's important to create a spacious environment, especially if you're planning on housing them with rainbow sharks. Giving both species enough room to swim around happily helps keep the peace. Plus, keeping them in a larger school can really help curb any nipping behavior, since safety in numbers makes them feel more secure. So, if you want a lively and harmonious underwater world, these tetras are definitely a fabulous choice. Blue auras are such cool fish. Hailing from South America, they can grow up to about 6 inches long and are part of the cichlid family. And you know what that means? They've got personality. If you're thinking about adding one to your tank, make sure you've got enough space. Ideally, a 4-foot long tank will do the trick. They love having plenty of hiding spots to chill in, which can help keep the peace. But just a heads up, when they breed, they can tend to get a little bit feisty, so it's good to keep an eye on them during that time. Overall, they're stunning and fun to watch. Just be prepared for their little bursts of attitude. Harlequin rasboras are such a stunning addition to any aquarium, especially when they're swimming around with rainbow sharks. These little guys are super peaceful and they tend to hang out in the upper and middle parts of the tank, so they're not really bothered by the more aggressive bottom dwellers like rainbows. Plus, they're omnivorous, which makes feeding time a breeze since they'll munch on live or frozen food as well as dried options. Just like scissortails, it's best to keep them in larger schools alongside the shark to really bring out their vibrant colors and lively behavior. If you're looking to create a lively and harmonious underwater scene, these fish are definitely a great choice. Cory catfish are just like the best little critters. They've got this stunning appearance and they really thrive when they're in groups hanging out at the bottom of the tank. If you're thinking about mixing them with rainbow sharks, though, it's smart to have a spacious aquarium. These guys need plenty of hiding spots and a nice sandy substrate to feel at home. Just keep in mind, rainbow sharks might chase after Corys a little bit, but they usually won't bite. So with the right setup, you can create a peaceful underwater community where both species can flourish. And I just love hillstream loaches. With their unique manta ray shape and vibrant colors, they just really stand out no matter what aquarium they're in. If you're thinking about adding them to your tank, just remember that they love having plenty of hiding spots and some swift water currents that mimics their natural habitat. Now, if you're also considering a rainbow shark, be aware that it might try to chase the loaches around since they can be pretty territorial. But don't worry too much. These loaches are quick and they can usually hold their own as long as you've got a spacious tank. Plus, they're social creatures, so it's a good idea to keep a group of them together to keep each other company. If you're considering adding some color and life to your tank, the Hemichromis exul or Turkana jewel cichlid is a fantastic choice. These peaceful little fellas hail from Africa, and they can really shine in larger tanks where they have plenty of hiding spots to feel secure. And they get along well with rainbow sharks too, which is a nice bonus. That is what we're talking about here. While they're not as feisty as their jewel cichlid cousins, they've got enough spunk to hold their own if your shark decides to be a bit of a bully. The key here is giving them plenty of space. A tank that's at least 4 feet long can really help minimize any territorial squabbles, making for a great underwater community. You know, all that said, monitoring your tank is key to knowing whether the fish is compatible or not with your rainbow shark. The previous list showed the ideal species that can bunk with your shark, but there are other choices that can be considered, but there's some not so good choices too. Let's talk about some of those. Angelfish, they can work with about a 60-40 chance. African cichlids, rainbow sharks are usually the victim of African cichlids when it comes to bullying, believe it or not. Green terrors, these species often bully your rainbow shark. They're not called green terror for no reason. And Oscars, your rainbow shark's temperament is usually going to depend on the temperament of your Oscar fish. There are some favored species that are often mistaken as great tank mates for rainbow sharks. Here are a few examples of species that should not be housed together with your rainbows. Betta fish, they're definitely going to get bullied. Dwarf shrimp, which will be eaten promptly. Discus fish are just too peaceful, though maybe in a very large tank you can make it work. Now, let's focus on their requirements and what to look for if you're going to consider fish outside of this video. First up, aggression and territorial nature. When picking rainbow shark tank mates, you've got to be smart. These little guys can be territorial and they like to show who's boss, so it's best to choose fish that won't trigger their aggressive side. Look for non-aggressive species that don't have long fins or big tails, since those traits tend to make your rainbow caution to nip them. Go for bigger fish, speedy swimmers, or those that'll hang out in schools, and you'll help keep the peace in your aquarium. Just a little planning can go a long way into creating a chill underwater hangout. Next, let's talk about the ideal tank size and parameters. Taking care of rainbow sharks is pretty straightforward since they're quite hardy. You'll need at least a 50-gallon tank that's at least 4 feet long to keep them happy, and in anything smaller, they might start to bully their neighbors. They thrive in water with a pH between 6.0 and 8.0, and it's crucial to keep ammonia and nitrite at 0 while not letting nitrates go over 40 ppm, or parts per million. Adding rocks, driftwood, and caves is going to give them plenty of hiding spots, helping them not get overly territorial and coexist peacefully with other fish. So make sure you've set your tank space for success, and they'll do just fine. When you're adding new buddies for your rainbow sharks, it's super important to follow a few key steps to keep the peace in your tank. First up, add the shark last to give others a chance to settle in and establish their territory. Make sure you've got plenty of hiding spots like rocks or plants so everyone can find their own space and avoid any territorial tiffs. A great tip is to use a breeder box for newcomers at first. This way you can observe how they interact without risking a full-on showdown. Keeping a close eye on their behavior is important to prevent any bullying from your sharks or to your sharks, ensuring that all the fish can live harmoniously in your community tank. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be updated with our latest ones. Also, check out our website for everything and anything aquarium hobby related. You can also leave me a super thanks, which helps support the channel. Or better yet, check out the next video to your right. Until the next time, we'll see ya.